Welcome to ppc.zone August 2024. I'm your host, Jill Faskin-Gales. I use the pronouns she and her. I'm a Google Ads coach, ex-Googler, and the founder of Inside Google Ads. I created ppc.zone in 2022 to elevate new perspectives and insights in our industry. ppc.zone is sponsored by PPC Live and Inside Google Ads. PPC Live hosts in-person events bringing real people together to solve real problems with real solutions. Go to ppc.live to learn more. Inside Google Ads is the training program you need to become a Google Ads expert. Go to learn.jill.ca to learn more. That's learn.jyll.ca. Our final speaker in the zone today has more than a decade of paid media experience and is now Director of Paid Media for Two Trees PPC. She has managed ads for major brands like LinkedIn and Juicy Couture. She is also a published author and sought-after industry commentator. We're about to hear her explain how to spot PPC red flags and how to fix them. Please welcome Sophie Fell.
Hi, thank you, Jill. What an intro. I feel like I have a lot to live up to after that. But thank you so much. So today, everyone, I'm going to be talking about some red flags on your Google Ads accounts and more importantly, how to fix them. So us PPC experts very rarely have the luxury of putting all of our efforts into one account. And if we do, it's usually a massive account with multiple markets, multiple products, and there's a lot going on, right? So over the years, there's so many metrics to learn and utilize over the years. I've really optimized the 5 key things to look for in order to really kind of hone in on what's working and make your campaigns much more efficient. So the number one red flag is a weak CTR. And I know Nisha kind of touched on this earlier too. It is like the oxygen of a campaign, right? And it's so indicative to the health of an account. So whether your budget's, $100,000 a month or $100 a month, CTR is just a really, really great indicator of the health of the account. And what it does is shows the relevance between our ad groups, keywords, landing pages, and search terms. So yes, it is industry dependent. There's a ton of research online that's very easy to find in terms of, industry benchmarks for CTR. But generally speaking, overall, you're looking at around 6% for Google search and about 3% for Microsoft search. So as data-driven marketers, there are 2 ways to address a weak CTR. So the first one that you can do is view your assets reports, and that actually gives you each individual headline and description a rating, a performance rating from low to best. So if you're seeing some of your ads are underperforming, don't just replace the whole thing. Start by swapping out some of those weaker performing headlines and descriptions with alternatives, and that can give a really, really good boost to your ads. And the second thing to check is your ad group themes. So during the process of adding all the negative keywords or the latest keyword suggestions, your ad groups are likely to kind of grow and evolve, and they may end up containing multiple themes, which can lead to really weak CTRs. So it's really tricky then to kind of match, if you have one RSA, that to all the different themes in your ad group. So if you do find that you've got multiple ad themes in the same ad group, you can definitely split these out to create tailored content for each theme, which is a really great way to boost your CTR too. So our second red flag today is missing or incomplete campaign settings. So by now, as PPC experts, I'm sure we're all aware of the sneaky default setting that the location targeting is set to as people interested in a location rather than those necessarily in the location. If you're not, go and double check your campaigns after this to just make sure that they're serving where your target audience actually is and not kind of globally. But there are a few more settings within your campaign settings that are worth a quick check. So whether or not your brand has that kind of global appeal, global offering, your ad copy and landing pages are likely to be in a single language, right? And your keywords within that ad group are likely to be in a single language. So check your campaign settings to make sure that the language of your ad copy matches the audience that you're asking the PPC platforms to put your ads in front of. This is probably going to reduce your total impression volume, but it is likely to improve the quality and the relevancy of your traffic if you do have those kind of global campaigns running. So really, really important to check those basic campaign settings, and they are big red flags when you see all languages or all countries and territories in those settings. The next one is a lack of exclusions. So it's very unlikely that no matter how good your product or service is, it's probably not going to appeal to absolutely everyone on the internet. And as Santosh just mentioned, there's difficulties with black box reporting, with campaign types. And now we're all being encouraged to advertise across multiple inventories outside of just search. So it's really important that we keep on top of our exclusions. Now, if you don't have any exclusions on your campaigns at the moment or within your account, that could mean that you're targeting the wrong keywords, showing ads to the wrong people entirely, on irrelevant or even harmful content to your brand, or in the wrong location entirely. So I've popped on screen some exclusions to look at adding. So again, things like negative keywords, certain audience exclusions. You want to review your content suitability, placement, and topic exclusions, brand exclusion lists for some campaigns, and location exclusions too. So if you don't have any exclusions on your account and you're a little bit worried where to start, a really simple first step is just starting with negative keywords. There will always be something, like whether it's free or DIY or PDF or download, there's always, career and job terms that can be added and should be added at account level when they're irrelevant. So there's definitely at least one negative keyword that you can apply to your account. And even if you can simply exclude or include current customer lists or tweak your audience demographics from targeting those just aged 18 to 65 plus, which again, all adults on the internet, and you can exclude those irrelevant keywords. That's a really, really great start, again, to improve CTR and just improve the performance of your account in general. So the next one is subpar quality scores. So it might feel like that search is kind of fading from relevancy, but search campaigns are actually still very important and remain as kind of relevant as ever for advertisers. So even if you are running Performance Max or shopping, etc., you should still use search campaigns alongside them. And actually, Google's research has shown that there's up to 29% increase in conversions when you use PMax and Google search together, the power pair. So if we look at quality score, what this is indicative of is how relevant your ads, keywords, and landing pages are to someone who's using a search engine. So this score is made up from 1 being poor to 10 being excellent, and is available at keyword level and is made up of 3 really important factors that are ranked from below average to above average. So one of those factors is expected CTR. So based on the last 90 days of data, how likely is it that your ad's going to be clicked? Ad relevance, how closely does your ad match the user's search query, but also the intent behind it, which is really important. And landing page experience. So how useful is the landing page? Does it answer or support the user's search query? So luckily for those of us that struggle with maths, the platform does calculate these for us, again, based on the last 3 months of data. In a perfect world, there would be 10s across the board, but 6 or above is indicative of a pretty good quality score. And as with the kind of other items mentioned in the list, weak quality scores can contribute to inefficient campaigns. So again, you just want to start addressing those factors, starting in a data-driven way with the ones that are marked as below average, and just kind of start and go through the list in terms of, what you can see for expected CTR, ad relevance, and landing page experience. And remember that the ultimate goal here is to keep like a coherent customer experience. So you want to make sure that your keywords, ad copy, and landing pages are all coherent, consistent in content, and helpful to a user too. And our last red flag is, if I can get my slides to work. Now, there we go. I've messed up my slides, but it's fine. So the last red flag is incomplete conversion data. So obviously, having a look at your campaigns, if you've got no conversion data at all, that's a pretty big red flag. But if you end up generating 0 conversions, that's a red flag, but having no conversion data or no conversion tracking in place is like the biggest red flag possible. So today, the platforms are so much better at encouraging people to create their conversion tracking before making the first campaign live. But there are, hundreds of thousands of legacy campaigns out there and accounts with old or incomplete or out of date conversion tracking, which again can lead to that inefficiency where you're wasting ad spend, you're not reaching the right people. So if you've been putting off setting up your conversion tracking, do it now. So you also want to make sure that your conversion tracking is up to today's standards. So yes, you want to have conversion tracking for your end goal. So whether that's purchases or lead form submissions, that's great. But you should also be tracking the lighter conversion events too. So maybe a product page view, a pricing page view, an add to cart. And then what that does is give the PPC platform that you're using all the signals it needs to create those conversions for you. And if you're using smart bidding to generate conversions and you've got multiple primary conversion methods tracked, so maybe you'll have like app downloads, phone calls, lead form fills, product page views, all as primary, you want to make sure that each conversion is set as primary or secondary to kind of indicate to the platform how important that is to you. So if you have multiple primary conversion goals, this will make smart bidding really struggle to generate the right conversion type that you want, but also for you to optimize towards the right conversion too. So on screen, we've got a really quick checklist of how to address each of these red flags on your Google Ads accounts. Obviously, if you have any questions on this, feel free to ask them in the panel or feel free to reach out. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Sophie, for sharing your unique perspective and insights with us in The Zone. I'm your host, Jill Saskin-Gales. You can follow me on LinkedIn to stay up to date on future events. I look forward to seeing you next time in The Zone.